everyone, my name is Rima Stefani from the Department of Nursing, Faculty of Medicine in the University of Diponegoro, with identification number is 22020121120018. First of all, let me thank you for coming here and watching this video. So as you can see in the title below, our topic today is health issue that I got from American Journal of Preventive Medicines, and the title is Sickle Cell Disease, the Need for a Public Health Agenda. Sickle cell disease, or SCD, comprises a group of inherited blood disorders that are lifelong and affect many people globally. The WHO estimates that SCD affects 275,000 conceptions each year. In the US, SCD is seen more commonly among people of African descent and people or their descendants from parts of tropical and subtropical regions where malaria is or was common, such as individuals with a Hispanic, Mediterranean, or Southeast Asian background. However, because the US population is not ethnically homogeneous, it is important that SCD not be seen as occurring exclusively among these groups. Sickle cell disease is characterized by the presence of sickle hemoglobin, or HbS, in red blood cells. It is an autosomal recessive genetic disorder. Children with SCD are at risk of life-threatening infection. People with SCD also are at higher risk of stroke, acute chest syndrome like ulcers, pulmonary hypertension, and other complications. Epidemiologic information such as incidence and prevalence of disease, risk factor, and health impact helps in developing and strengthening strategies for reducing morbidity and mortality from SCD. Although a number of individual studies have focused on the epidemiology SCD, population-based disease surveillance activities and disease registries are also needed. Sickle cell disease has a deleterious effect on immune system function, and those children with SCD are at increased risk of life-threatening infection, especially with Streptococcus pneumoniae and Haemophilus influenzae. However, many of the infections are preventable. The strong protective effect of penicillin prophylaxis has been demonstrated by several studies. In addition to antibiotic prophylaxis, children with SCD need to be up to date with routinely recommended vaccines, including pneumococcal and HIV vaccines. For people with SCD and the parents of children with SCD, knowledge related to complication prevention and health maintenance is imperative. These include preventing dehydration, avoiding exposure to soft cold or heat, preventing infection, maintaining appropriate nutrition, recognizing and getting early medical follow-up for symptoms such as fever, and implementing pain evaluation and management. People with SCD need to receive comprehensive medical care that include specialist care by a hematologist. Children should have routine health visits approximately every 2 to 3 months during their first 2 years of life, and after that, visits should be as needed, but at least semi-annually. So, I can conclude that we need a public health agenda for SCD that has its basic, the essential services of public health. That's all from me. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video. Bye bye guys!